Oh. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the match preview for tomorrow's FA Cup quarter-final against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park, kicking off at 12:30, I believe. We're going to be going. It's just me today, so we're going to be going through all the game, what everything coming up to it, everything leading to it, and of course, we'll be mainly spending this stream probably going through the comments and getting your guys' opinions on what you think is going to happen at the game. So this is it. This is one win away from Wembley. I believe it's the first FA Cup semi-final will have been to since I believe the year Man United won it. I think where they ironically played Crystal Palace in the final. Was it 2016, 2017? I'm just going to get the live chat up here just in case it's not working on StreamYard, which it doesn't like to. Hello, Michael, Philip, Dylan. Hello, all of you. I can't actually see your comments on StreamYard. So if you see me looking down, it is just because I'm having a look at the live chat on the actual video. But anyway, going into the game, we're coming off a 1-0 win against Newcastle, and I believe Crystal Palace are coming off a draw. Was Crystal Palace's last game that draw against Man City? I'm not too sure, but yeah, it's a game that I don't think it's must win in a sense, but I think it is a game where Frank will be looking. Yeah, they're coming off a 0-0 win against Man City at Selhurst Park. A big result for Crystal Palace. I believe they have actually managed to steal points from Man City in both of the games they've played against them. Crystal Palace currently sit 11th in the Premier League, and their form's it's a bit rocky. 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. It's not bad, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily good either. Going into it, I think we're going to see a full strength lineup out. I think Frank is going to try get us into this semi-final and really, drag us through, hopefully to FA Cup victory. And maybe after a good win against Newcastle, we could see some real confidence in the boys in the way they play. But Selhurst Park's always a difficult ground to play at. I believe Crystal Palace have some of the best home support in the Premier League, and I don't think that's a very controversial statement. But I definitely think we have enough to win the game. I think the kickoff time is a bit awkward because I know obviously getting to London from Liverpool can be a bit of a pain, especially for that kickoff time. But I think the club are providing coach services. If you just let me know in the comments if I'm wrong there, I'm not completely sure. But if we talk about the actual game, I believe last time we played Crystal Palace, we lost 3-1 at Goodison, was it? 3-1 and Rondon scored a sympathy goal, to put it simply. But Crystal Palace are a team that they're a weird one because they have these moments where they can play fantastic football and look like a fantastic team and really trouble the opposition, but then sometimes they look like they should be in and around relegation. So it's a flip of a coin, really, what you're going to get from Crystal Palace. And I guess that's what makes it so hard to sit here and try to give you a definitive prediction about, because I'm not too sure myself of what could happen, really. So we go into the game. I believe we're still without Jordan Pickford. I believe Frank said we are still without Jordan Pickford going into this, which is going to give Begovic another chance in goal. Begovic, I think, was really impressive against Newcastle. Me and Paul said this in the extra time review of the game. But yeah, I think we had a really good performance all around in defensively anyway. And I think Begovic was probably the standout of that. He made a few key saves for us and really kept us in the game. And he didn't seem too shook by the occasion. I believe that was only his second Premier League start for Everton. And I think he seemed really comfortable in goal, something that, before that Newcastle game, I would have been really nervous about having Begovic in goal, especially for a cup quarter final. But I do believe he can get the job done. And I do believe he could really, help us out in a sense in goal, especially with Pickford being out. And, instead of us having to play, young Tyra or even Lonergan, that's a pain that no one deserves. But defensively, I think I could see the same back four playing again. Maybe Michaelenko steps in instead, and we see Keane or Holgate getting dropped. What I can imagine Frank wouldn't drop Godfrey now that he's back, unless he wants to fit Godfrey in and try to give him a break, so to make sure he's not, play too much and then injured again, which we've seen with players like Yeremina and Calvert-Lewin this season. I'm just going to quickly check my phone to make sure there's no more comments. I don't think so. I'll quickly reset this just to check. There we go. Here we go. Yeah, there is. There's a comment from, I believe that was Matty. 1 second, mate. Let me just read that because they're not coming up on my thing. I hope he plays Patterson tomorrow. Full strength apart from him. We've got to keep Conor Gallagher quiet. Yeah, great point. Conor Gallagher is the spark plug for Crystal Palace. When he's playing well, the entire team is playing well. So I think the goal is, I could see Anthony Gordon being given a very similar role to the one he was given against Bruno Guimaraes against Newcastle, of just hound Gallagher as much as possible and don't let him get the ball, at all, really. The goal is to try, nullify how much he actually gets the ball. So I think that would be a very smart move, and I do think you're right, Matty. I do hope these comments are refreshing in time, so because as I said, this one is going to be a more interactive sort of stream. So make sure you put things in the comments, and I will read them out as soon as I see it. But yeah, going into the defense of the team, I think it will be. I'd like to see Patterson given another chance, but it is a quarterfinals. I could see it just being Coleman, Keane, maybe Coleman, Keane, Godfrey, Mikalenko. But I could see him going for a very similar team because I don't believe we play West Ham until next weekend. But at the same time, playing the same team only days apart could be disastrous going into it, especially with the travel down. But I think it's a game that's very hard to get a grasp on for like a definite result because, even against Newcastle, I could give you an idea of what was going to happen. Against, other teams, I can give you an idea, but with Crystal Palace, I genuinely have no idea, especially with the heart and passion that we showed against Newcastle. I think it could be a real coming out game in a sense if we can put up a really good performance against Newcastle, against Crystal Palace. Michael here puts, if we had to play Liverpool, Chelsea or City in the semis, who would you prefer to play? I'm going to go Chelsea because I think, if Frank wants to put in a big performance against their team, it will be Chelsea, getting sacked by them. And in a sense, the fans still love him. So I don't think the Chelsea fans would be as hostile as the other groups of fans. And in Wembley, where I believe we'll probably get equal allocation or a similar amount, having a fan base that's going to be less volatile towards your manager. And I don't even know if we get Chelsea in the semi-finals, can Chelsea even bring fans to Wembley? So, I think if I had to pick any of those for the semis, I'd pick Chelsea or Liverpool, which sounds weird, but I just wouldn't want to lose to Liverpool in the final if we did. I just don't even want that possibility. I want us to get to the final and not have to worry about Liverpool because they're not in the cup anymore. So we hope that any of the other teams, Liverpool, Chelsea or City, have got can beat them. Praying that Middlesbrough can beat Chelsea would be nice. One thing is certain, Liverpool will be reserved for an all Merseyside final. I don't know about that, Phil. I'd be terrified, because if we lost, it'd hurt so much more in a sense. Losing to City in a cup final, I can accept. Losing to Chelsea, we got there. I've seen us lose to Chelsea in an FA Cup final before, but losing to Liverpool in a cup final, especially if they win the league as well, which, to be honest with you, I'm not completely against them doing it in a sense of the thing. I think they could. I think City might I think City might slip up, and to be honest, I see Liverpool winning every game. Obviously, so I just giving them another trophy would just not be. It wouldn't be a nice thing to see, but yeah, I think if I had to pick a team in the semi-finals, Michael, it'd be Chelsea. But hopefully, if I had to pick, hopefully Middlesbrough win. And hopefully we can get Middlesbrough in the semi-finals. But saying that, if we're a part of a Middlesbrough Cup run to the FA Cup final, that'd be painful too. So, I don't know. I think it's a difficult one, and I think it's one that I may be able to give you a better answer of after I've seen the other team's performances in the quarterfinals. I believe Chelsea kick off. Is it? I don't know if Chelsea play today or is it tomorrow? Like tomorrow tea time, I think. But yeah, going back to this game against Crystal Palace, I don't see Vieira changing things up much either. I think Vieira's looking at this now of he's got a comfortable mid-table finish, a possibility of an FA Cup final or even an FA Cup win for Vieira might be this idea of that's how, Chelsea beat. Oh, was it today? Oh, I didn't even realise they played today. So Chelsea beat Middlesbrough 2-0. So Chelsea are through. So I think my answer stays the same with Chelsea. I thought they played all right if we go to Wembley. Do you know what, Alex? It depends who we'd got in the semi-finals. If we get, my hope is that Liverpool just get knocked out and that we don't have to play them. But Yeah, Borough 2-0, Chelsea 2. Right, so Chelsea are the first team in the semi-finals. But I think this draw is probably one of the better ones we could have got for once we actually got a winnable cup draw. I think we've actually got a few this season in the FA Cup. Usually I'm just so used to us getting Man City, Liverpool or something in the early rounds and going, oh, well, that's our FA Cup campaign over with. But yeah, it's been a nice cup run. Hopefully we can extend it with a win. But yeah, I think if we go back into the squad, I think it being the same back four with the possibility of Mikalenko being put in. The midfield with Alan's red card makes it difficult. I can imagine it. And, Alan's red card, Van der Beek being cup tied. What do you think the score will be made from Alex? I'm going to say we will. I'm going to be confident and say we win 2-1. But I think it's going to be very similar to the Newcastle game where it's a very scrappy 2-1 where, hopefully, this is a sign of the future where the boys, they grit down and just get ready for a win. Irwin up the Toffees, guys. Let's get this win tomorrow. Hopefully, Irwin, we can get this win. And then, we can jump on the Toffee Blues and say how we're going to win the FA Cup. So, 2-1, yeah, Alex. I think it'll be quite a scrappy one. I think it will be a game where both teams really test each other, where hopefully we get some better refereeing. Hopefully Craig Pawson's put in like some dungeon and never let out or something, or never let out to referee again, because that's not something I want to experience ever again. Can't imagine it'll be the referee anyway, but yeah, it's going to be a very scrappy game. I think both teams are really going to want it. And it's going to be a game about who wants it more, really. I think whichever team wants it more will be the team that goes through to the semi-final. So as I was saying, in the midfield, we've got no Van der Beek, no Alan. So it's probably going to be Gomez, Decore. And then I think you have to give someone like Onyango a chance, or even maybe play Godfrey in defensive midfield, because we just get overrun constantly in the midfield. And I think not playing free in midfield against a team like Crystal Palace that will, put relentless pressure on you is something that will, be our downfall. Onyango hasn't played a full 90 for the Everton. I don't even think he's made over 30 minutes in a game. But, I think Onyango with that big presence, I can imagine he can stick a foot in. I can imagine he's got a bit of strength about him. The lad's massive. Yeah, Michael, I know Gomez he's not the best. He's an inconsistent player, but we don't really have any other options, and I do think we have to play free in midfield, or we are just going to get completely overrun. Maybe a 4-4-2 with maybe DCL, Richarlison, and then maybe 4-4-2 with like Gordon and Gray, or Gordon and Townsend, or something along those lines, because even El Ghazi's cup tied. So it's a weird one. It really is. With Alan's red card, it does make the midfield really hard to guess, because Alan and Decore and Gomez is just, it's going to leave absolute holes in the defense, and I think we might end up getting us crushed. I don't know why I said defense like that, but Phil puts here, I'm 62 now and I've been fortunate to see us at our best. Can't wait for our younger supporters to experience us lifting the cup. I'd be in tears. Yeah, Phil, it'd be the first trophy I've ever seen Everton lift. First time I saw Everton win at Anfield was last season, so hopefully these 2 seasons can give me 2 moments that I'd never expect. And part of me wants to get Chelsea in the final, because I don't know how it'd work though. I don't know if I'm right. Wouldn't we get the full stadium because Chelsea can't sell tickets? So surely they'd just allocate the entire stadium for Everton fans, which would be, quite an experience for all of us. Michael puts, you're so lucky, Phil, I'm 17 and not see us do anything. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Michael, I'm 20 and I've not seen. The only thing I've really seen us do is the cup run in 09, I think, where we got to the final and Saha scored the quickest FA Cup. I think it was was it the quickest FA Cup or quickest FA Cup final goal? And then the cup run where United knocked us out in the semi-final. But they're the only real cup runs that I can remember with some form of fondness, really. I'm just used to us getting the really good teams early on and getting knocked out. Matty puts 4-2-3-1. Matty put 4-2-3-1. Gordon number 8 pushing forward behind DCL, same as Newcastle game. Yeah, that could work. Gordon's energy will offer a lot to us, and I feel like he always will. But I think Gordon needs to be in those attacking positions. But I do also think we are that barren in midfield now without Alan and Van der Beek for this game that, Frank might have to try something creative, and I'm all for it as long as, as long as it works. Phil put, I'd rather be 17 than 62. In the context of being an Everton fan, I'd probably rather be 62, mate, because, I've never seen us win a raffle, never mind a trophy. But Alex put, I cried when Iwobi scored. I didn't cry, but I do live in student accommodation, and I feel like the entire accommodation may have heard me when Iwobi scored. So I think we all had our different experiences of that. The only annoying part was I was actually going to go to that game and decided not to. Like 2 weeks before, I don't know why. I just completely lost faith in Everton and was like, it can't make the £80 price to get it there and back. £80 plus the ticket, so 40 for the ticket, 40 for the train. Then to watch us lose. So I really do wish I went, but I still watched it, and I think we all still experienced. I think it gave us hope. I said this. I think that Newcastle game's really lifted the fan base a lot. Seeing how passionate the players were, how passionate the manager was. Even breaking his hand in celebrations. I saw that some geezer on Geordie Shaw tried to start a fight and got punched after the game. So it's never a bad thing, really. But yeah, I think it's just a lot of fans will feel a lot more confident than we did originally going into this game. I think that's one thing that could help us. And I think against a team like Crystal Palace, you've always got to take a rabid away crowd. So, I always have faith in the Everton away fans. They're fantastic every time. Even when we're crap, they're always fantastic. So we know we'll have great away support at the game. Is anyone in the chat going to the game tomorrow? I know it's a bit of a pain in the ass to get to, but is anyone going? But so while I wait for that, the attack, I can't really predict the midfield, so just going to the attack, I can imagine it'll be I think DCL will probably get a start. I think DCL looked really bright in those. I think he played about 25, 30 minutes because he added time against Crystal Palace, against Newcastle, sorry. I think he really changed the tempo of the game, and I think the attack felt so much more confident and it was flowing so much better with him there. I think it'd be a much better idea to give him a start or even just a longer cameo than he originally had. Michael put, I'm just really nervous because we are playing away and our away form is dreadful. Well, hopefully, a bit of confidence after that Newcastle game, it could be the catalyst for change. You saw it with Newcastle, with Eddie Howe. They got one result and then started to string them together. So I really do think we could do something similar to Newcastle, because I don't think the squad's worlds apart, to be honest with you. I just think if everyone in this squad's backing each other and has the common goal of, win games and win as many as possible, no matter what the conditions, and they don't let their heads get dropped and they keep this they keep this confidence about them, then I really do think these boys can put pressure on some of the teams, and I really do think we will survive. But with Everton and with these group of lads, it's very inconsistent what we're going to get. We can play like we played against Man City one game and then lose to Tottenham 5-0 the next game. That's the problem with this. So I think this game is a chance for the lads to prove that this isn't just an inconsistent run of games now. This is going to be something we see for the rest of Frank Lampard's time as Everton manager, and hopefully that is the case, because it's something this club really needs. Is the club needs to get its identity back, and I do think it's starting to get there. But obviously, it's a big jump to get to, where we were under David Moyes with Frank Lampard. But, I do think Frank can do that. I don't think he's quite the manager David Moyes is, but I do think he's got all the right tools to be a successful manager in football. And hopefully most of his success does come with Everton. But if we look at Crystal Palace, we mentioned it earlier, stopping Conor Gallagher, and stopping Wilfred Zaha. I think, Elise is dangerous. I'm pretty sure Eze is back now. I can't tell you. I can't act like I've been keeping up massively with Crystal Palace, but, they've got a lot of players who can really cause damage, and I think that is something that we don't have. They have those forward players who can just come up with a moment of magic, someone like a Zaha, Eze. Even you look at the goalkeeper, I think Guaita's quite a good goalkeeper. I think he's solid. Tariq Mitchell's having a really good season. Guaita's just got in the England squad. Matty puts here, we can't play high press on the halfway line. They have Eze, Zaha, Gallagher, Elise. fast players. It's not even just that though; it's technical players. They're technically gifted and can beat a man on the dribble and can really challenge us. So I think if you're going to play a high line, I think it has to be Holgate and Godfrey because they're the two only centre-backs with a bit of pace about them. So I think Keane has to get dropped if we're going to play that way against Crystal Palace. Owen puts, would you play a strong squad or focus on the league? I don't believe we play until Saturday. So I think going for a strong squad is the smart idea. Give DCL 60, 70 minutes and then rest him until Saturday, Richarlison, give him as much as possible. But I think you want a strong squad out there, especially in the attack and the defence, considering we don't have Alan. And I think we really need to. I think if we had a game on Wednesday or Thursday, I think I'd be talking different. But a win to get us to an FA Cup semi-final could also do so much good in the confidence for this team. A win in London, we're playing in London next weekend. I think it's something where it could really do us to put a strong squad out, and it's the internet. You might be right, Michael. I think it is the international break, actually, or I think we play West Ham on the 3rd of April. So it is, yes, so we have plenty of time. So it needs to be a full strength squad, really. It needs to be the best squad we've got going out, and then the lads have, a week and a bit to rest before the game against West Ham. So yeah, definitely full strength squad now that it's confirmed it is. I do 100% know it's an international break next. Yeah, full squad, full strength out there. Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, all the actually good players getting a start. And then especially because Crystal Palace are a team that can get blitzed. I think, that's one thing that gives me a bit of confidence. Crystal Palace are a team that they can get caught and can concede goals. So I think, recently, the goal scoring record recently, conceding record actually has been quite good. I think that is down to players like Guay and Anderson, playing really well. But we have seen they do have a propensity to concede, but you're going too early on in the season. The 3-3 draw with Burnley's one I think of. The loss against West Ham at Selhurst Park, I think recently. But even then, a 0-0 draw with Brentford, a 1-1 draw with Norwich, a 1-1 draw with Burnley. This is a team we can beat. And, I think even against Stoke in the last round of the FA Cup, if I look here, I'm pretty sure Stoke outplayed them. So, yeah, they did. Stoke, more shots on target. All Crystal Palace just would do were passing it around. Stoke were the ones actually creating dangerous chances. And Stoke are awful right now. I think they won today, but Stoke are awful. Yeah, Stoke beat Millwall, but they've been not getting results against teams like Cardiff, Peterborough, and Barnsley. So if you struggle to beat that side, then I think we can beat them. So I think the most important thing is that the boys go and put their heart into it. If we play really well and we lose 1-0, I won't be happy, but at least they've then showed me that they've got the fight, that they want to win games. And I think that's all it's about, is, like I said, discovering that fight and that passion to win football games that I feel like hasn't been around in a long time. Even under Ancelotti, I felt like it was very much about the individuals trying to stand out and not the team trying to stand out. So I think we really need to find the identity of that we're a team, not a place where individuals can shine. We're a team that it's about the team. It's not about individuals. Would you play Gray or Iwobi if you could only pick one of them tomorrow? I think I'd play Iwobi, which might sound mental because what Damari Gray. I think Iwobi can offer more defensively, and Iwobi can almost play as more of a midfielder than Damari Gray could, in a sense of where Iwobi will run for tackles and has got a lot of energy about him. I think we need to go something like 4-4-2, and I think Damari Gray is like our luxury player, where he can have moments of magic. He can rip, but I think Crystal Palace are going to have more of the ball than us. I think Crystal Palace are going to put the pressure on us. So I feel like having someone like Iwobi to support, it'll more than likely be Seamus Coleman or even a young Patterson, could really help us out compared to Damari Gray, who does get back and try to defend, but I don't think he has the same amount of energy that Iwobi has. But at the same time, Iwobi might be absolutely knackered after that. So if he is and he's not ready to play a full 90, then I'd probably pick Damari Gray, as I think he got subbed off, so he'll have a bit more in the gas tank. It could even be both of them. He could play both of them and then only play one striker, but I think you do have to play Calvert-Lewin in this game. I think Calvert-Lewin can cause real problems for the Crystal Palace defence. So we're getting towards the half an hour mark, and I think, we've spoke about, quite a lot of things that we can talk about in the game. So I want to know, what's everyone's score predictions for the game? How do you think the game's going to go? Do you think it's going to be a scrappy game? Do you think we're going to dominate? What do you think tomorrow's going to be like? Put it simply. And do you think Everton will advance to the semi-finals of the FA Cup for the first time in quite a while? But yeah, going on to our players while I wait for your lot to respond, I could see Onyango being given a chance. I think the lad needs to be given a chance. I think, he's impressed in the academy. I think in these situations where there's desperation and where there's moments that the fans really feel like they could gravitate towards someone, Onyango coming in and bossing it against, a good Premier League side like Crystal Palace in the midfield could really fly him up the pecking order for Frank, and could see him overtake players like Gomez and, Tom Davies, who, it's not Davies' fault that he can't play, but, I think it's something that Onyango could look at and go, this is my opportunity to shine here. But yeah, you've got players like Onyango. We may see a Dobbin coming off the bench, but I don't see that. There's also the chance Solomon Rondon starts, 2 goals in his last FA Cup fixture, but I'm not too sure on Rondon, really. Unless he is just a cup scoring machine, but I don't really think he is. Michael puts 2-1 Palace. I think he'll start playing well when we go 2-0 down, but I don't want to be negative, but I find it hard to see us winning 2 games in a row right now. And it's understandable, Michael. That's been the story of the season. We'll win 1 game and then lose the next 4. But, I'm hoping that this is a change and that the players are now realising how close we are to relegation, that they do have to pull the finger out. Matty puts, we will sit back and hit them on the counter-attack, 1-1 draw, and then penalties. Are you going to give who you think wins on penalties, Matty, or do you not want to jinx it? But, I think there's kind of this thing where a lot of Everton fans, probably myself included, don't want to go into the game with a mindset that's almost too positive because, Everton have had a proficiency of letting us down this season. And so I think that's something that a lot of us just don't want to happen again. Getting let down by this club, it's a consistent no Rondon, no party. He has to start. Solomon Rondon hat-trick against Crystal Palace. But yeah, I think Rondon, I don't think it's the worst decision. I think having a big target man who can knock it onto someone like Richarlison or Anthony Gordon's probably not a bad idea. I think Rondon does that quite well. So I'm not the biggest fan of Solomon Rondon at all. I've never claimed to be, but I think he could have his uses as someone who just needs to stand still and basically just get the ball to our other more technically gifted players, to put it simply. But I'll wait for a few more comments to come to funnel through, because I think that it says there's 18 of you watching, 17 now. So if anyone else who hasn't been wants to put in the chat what score they think it's going to be before we end things, then just let me know. If I think some other things to talk about, storylines going into the game. It is also Everton's dreadful away form. I don't even want to look at how bad our away form is, but it's got to be the worst in the Premier League. I don't even know if we have won a game away all season. I can't think of one, surely. But, it's something that needs to change. And, Crystal Palace is a very toxic atmosphere for the away team. They're a very strong home support, like I said earlier on in the stream. So a win there could do wonders for us, for the confidence of the players. He's 32 or 33 and plays like he's 22. We really need Rondon. Don't, Michael. I'm not falling for that. I'm not falling for it. He's good at standing still and knocking the ball on. Like every good 22-year-old. But anyway, that's where we're going to end things. In my opinion, I've said I think 2-1 Everton is going to be the score. And go on, I'll say Solomon Rondon's going to score one of the goals against. We've won 1 away game this season. That is proof of how dreadful we are. But yeah, thank you all for watching this video. If you did like it, please make sure to like, subscribe to the Toffee Blues, and share the channel with your friends if you haven't already. I think Frank can do the job we need. Erwin, I do agree with you. I do think Frank can do the job. Let's do it for Coleman. He deserves a major trophy. We do. Palace 1, Everton 3. Could be 2-1 either way, maybe even after extra time. Those are all very realistic. It's an unpredictable game with an unpredictable scoreline at the end of it. But as I said, thank you all for watching the Toffee Blues. Please like, subscribe to the channel and make sure to keep an eye out for all our live streams and videos. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you later. But I will quickly get Liam's comment in. 4-0 Everton, Keane, Gordon, and DCL all to score. There you go. You heard it here first. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.